Peace,
Maximus.
peace. Yeah. Send me your links, Aquarius. Here, send me your links, and I'll put it in the
Put
chat.
it at, yeah.
Indeed. Shout out to the family. We are now live. Shout out to the family. Getting things together. Make sure you hit the like button. We're about to get started in a second. Let me just make a couple of announcements as we get everything together, everything situated. We're gonna have a good time tonight, y'all. Oh, with
Yeah.
this E King, this divination system, we're gonna have a good time. Let me get to a first of all, let me make a quick announcement. My brother KT got a sale going on at Soul Ionic Botanicals with the honey, the Nesut Nectar honey, 50% off. So make sure you go check my brother KT out. All right. Y'all know if when he got the 50% on off sale, y'all know y'all got to get up on that. Also, I just uploaded Rod Hayes got a brand new video. It's called The Holy Land. It's on Patreon. And y'all know he couldn't talk about none of this on this platform. Woo! This is on Patreon where it's a safe place and he's talking his shit. So shout out to my brother Rod Hayes. He went into this is probably the most thorough video, family, about not just what's happening over there, what's happening over here, and what's happening globally. The brother, you know, he be on his America Land into Hootie shit. So the brother went in deep on the Holy Land. Make sure y'all go over to Patreon, y'all sign up and view the video. And also, my brother King Simon, make sure you.
It's the numerational session with King Simon. Text your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. And get my books on Amazon now.
All right. So shout out to everybody who got some wonderful things going on. And with that being said, Aquarius Maximus, welcome back to the platform, my sister.
Hey.
Hey, good to
How
have
you
you back on here. How's everything been for you?
Good, good.
That,
Been busy. Been
yeah,
busy.
yeah, I know you be doing your business thing. How's everything's going good with business?
Very, very
With the
good.
app, you got the app going on, you got the crypto.
Yeah, yeah. Doing a lot of tech, AI, stuff like that right now.
Yeah, yeah. That's what's up. So we're gonna have a good conversation tonight. You mentioned this divination system, the I Ching, so many times on my show. I don't know
Yeah.
why Ben didn't have a talk with you about this. I'm very much interested in knowing exactly how does this divination system work. I've heard of tarot, I've heard of numerology, of course, astrology, um um what's the is my brain, what's the one you do,
Cardiology,
cardiology,
cardiology.
yeah,
Mhm.
cardiology. But what's up with the I Ching? It seems like that's like on the top of your list. It almost seems. Well, how much you mention it.
Absolutely.
What's
Absolutely. I
your
use it a lot.
what exactly it is, and why does it resonate with you so much, Aquarius? Because we would love to know what learn about it too.
It's sage wisdom. It's more, I guess you could say, with cardiology, we're looking into some specific things more on a data level, on a logical level.
Mhm.
But the I Ching is more on a, like, if you had to ask grandma for advice, you know what I mean? If you want sound Saturn like advice,
Mhm.
definitely the I Ching, right? And it's
Mhm.
on point. It's always on point. It
Mhm.
never fails. The whole concept of divination is all tied in together. It's
Mhm.
magnetic. So when you're talking about the I Ching, and even when you're talking about yin yang, you're talking about open close, binary. We're talking about binary divination systems.
Mhm.
Oh, the Odus and E5 is also a binary divination system, and most people believe that the I Ching came from the same binary divination system as the Odus. The Odus are 256 in number, and the
Mhm.
I Ching is 64. They use two different base. So the I
Mhm.
Ching is like base 6, and the Odus are base 8, right?
Mhm.
But they're still what's called a binary divination system, and the binary is actually at the heart of binary code, which we use for computing and
Yeah.
AI, and everything comes from that, right?
Right.
So the whole concept of divination is, and actually another thing that's connected to the I Ching is the Egyptian Agdawad, right? The
Mhm.
the eight deities, right? So when you were talking about the 8 deities in ancient Egypt, they were twins. So, right, 4 sets of twins, right? So, because in divination, it bounces off the idea that the birth of everything has a twin. Okay. So, even the birth of an idea, the birth of a question. So, if you have a question, the answer is born at the same time. The answer is there at the same time. So that's why when you go and you do a reading, you get a reading from a tarot, they ask you the question, or if you go to maybe Ifa and they'll ask you the question, because in the moment of the question exists the answer. Right? So what you're doing is, that's why, like I said, when you see the yin yang symbol, you see that those opposites or whatever. And even in binary, you have what's called open and close, yes or no, right? So it could even be like the road is open or the road is closed, right? So these two elements are there. So in the I Ching, the first 8 hexagrams actually represent like the same as the Agdwa, those first deities, those first major deities. And then after that, we start going into the lesser deities. So the actual stories, now this is the same for the Odu. There are stories that are archetypal stories. They're supposed to represent pretty much all of humanity, the humanity's core issues that are programmed into us. Same thing with the Odus. The Odus has 256 stories, and they actually have more stories, right? But these hexagrams are associated with story, or Odus are associated with stories, and the hexagrams are associated with stories. So it's the story that's going to tell the story of the situation you got going on right now. And it's similar to cardology, whereas every day has an energy, right? And when I tell you what your card is, I tell you what your energy is and what the meaning is, and it's associated. Well, these divinations have stories, a whole entire story. So instead of me telling you your card is a 7 of clubs, let's say there's a story for the 7 of clubs. That's what the I Ching has, right? And there are what we call different translations, because of course originally it's in Mandarin or Chinese, and then it's been translated and translated and translated so that people can understand it. So there are many books out there that give translations to these hexagrams. The same thing with the Odus.
Keep talking, Aquarius. Give me 1 second. Keep talking.
So the heart, like I said, going back to divination, when the idea is when you are pulling these hexagrams and these hexagrams are falling, again, the answer is being born at the same time. Carl Jung, who is a psychiatrist, actually used the I Ching, right? And he wrote the foreword for the Willem translation of the I Ching, and he called it synchronicity. That was his words for it. He said that it seems to be something when two things don't seem to be that when they're not supposed to be related, but they are, that's synchronicity. So this idea of synchronicity that he coined came out of his dealings with the I Ching, and the idea that his patients would come and he would do a I Ching divination, and that divination would always be like linked to what the patients are going through, like and that's what he was calling synchronicity. So this encompasses all any kind of divination, right? It's just that what's so powerful about the I Ching and the Odus is that it has these stories that are archetypal stories, right? The tarot, not necessarily. The tarot is more up to interpretation, even though it has archetypal meanings in it. But you get to interpret the tarot based off of, visuals, intuition, and stuff like that. But when it comes to the I Ching, you're going to interpret it off the story that is being told. You're going to take that story and you're going to apply it to your current situation. That story is going to apply to your current situation. So, for instance, if you were to do an I Ching reading and hexagram 54 came up, right, which is called the Marian Maiden, right? and your question is, should I take this job, right? But I don't really want to take this job because they're not paying me enough, right? So the hexagram 54, it called the Marian Maiden, literally deals with your self-worth. You know what I mean? Because it's a story of getting married. It's a story of a woman getting married, like becoming a concubine because she's getting older, and she feels like she has to get married. So she settles for becoming a concubine, which could in turn hurt her self-worth because she's settling. So the hexagram is saying you could wait and get what you're worth, but if you really feel like you got to do something, then you're gonna have to be subordinate, and you're just gonna have to take it, right? And that situation could still apply to a job, to whereas you're being offered a job and they're not paying you what you're worth, but you're like, I need a job, right? So this hexagram might fall, and this hexagram is just giving you a warning and telling you, hey, if you take this job, you're gonna have to, you're gonna have to be subordinate. You ain't gonna like it, but you say you need the money. You know what I mean? So the stories are there, and they're crafted to be able to answer your situation now. And the same thing with the Odus.
Let's okay, so one question, because I want to show a picture, give a visual. We're gonna actually do a couple. We're gonna do some I Ching readings on air, which is pretty cool. She's gonna pull up. She has a web app. She's gonna pull it up. I'm gonna take some questions from y'all, and we're gonna do a live on air. Like, there's so many different names. There's so many different sciences, schools of thoughts out there. This is one of them that I'm definitely interested in learning about. So we're gonna have a real good time tonight, y'all. Get comfortable. I did want to okay, this is what I want to ask you, Aquarius, real quick. We're in the age of Aquarius, and in the age of Aquarius, we're so used to the yes or no answers. Sometime one of the things discussed from many speakers about the age of Aquarius is that the answer may be yes and no sometime. Like, let's say if I ask, is Donald Trump good for America? Now he be on his white extremist shit sometime, but he may speed up the fall that we are waiting for to usher in a new era. So the answer may be yes and no. Now, how can these binary, if it's binary, how can this or that answer a question that encompasses both yes and no?
Well, the interesting thing is, what I believe is that whatever question you ask is really about what you want. You can have anything you want. However, what the I Ching does is shows you how hard it's going to be to get what you want. You know what I mean? So you might ask, you might go to the I Ching and say, can I have this job? And the I Ching might say, sure, it's going to be easy, blah, blah, blah. Or the I Ching may say, sure, but there's going to be obstacles. You know what I mean? The I Ching very rarely says no. Honestly, very rarely says no. Very rarely. What it's going to do is it's going to tell you that this is going to be the obstacle. This is the obstacles. This is how hard it's going to be for you to get what you want. Because it's all about perception. You were talking about yes or no. We live in a world of perception. That's why, there is a yes or no. It's whatever you perceive it to be. Because on some sides, it's going to be beneficial if it's this, and on some other sides, it's going to be beneficial if it's this. Not everybody has that same beneficial, thing out of whatever. Everybody has, you know what I mean? Everybody has a side, like it's going to be beneficial for me. But the crazy thing is, most things ultimately benefit you. In the end, you are benefited, right? But you may not be benefited for 4 years. So of course you're sitting here thinking, this sucks, but you don't know the thread of karma that was created by that decision. You don't know that just because that person did that, what you didn't want them to do, it led to you being able to have what you want today. So you have to look at it like the thread of karma, but when it comes to having what you want, and that's why I love doing the I Ching as well, is because it's not that I can't have what I want. it's like, is it worth it? Is it worth the trouble? That's why I go to the I Ching. I'm like, is this worth the trouble? Ultimately, you get to decide whether or not it's going to be worth it. You know what I mean? So if it tells you, hey, you're almost there, because the I Ching will do that. I asked the I Ching a question today, and it was something that I wanted to give up on. And I got hexagram 64, which is one of the final hexagrams. So it literally tells you you're almost there. So why give up now? Like, you're that close. So if you're that close, then why give up? Okay, then I'm not going to give up. I'm gonna keep on pushing. Right. But let's say it gave me a hexagram, was like way back early in the beginning, and it said it was going to be a lot of blocks, a lot of challenges, a lot of this, a lot of that. Then I could decide that, you know what, this isn't working. I'm not going to do it. Even in a relationship, you can go to the I Ching. I do vet people in relationships with the I Ching. Now everything changes. Just because they're right for you now doesn't mean they're going to be right for you 6 months from now. Or it doesn't mean they're going to be right for you 10 minutes from now. You know what I mean? Everything changes.
Right.
I've gone to the I Ching and asked about partnerships. And at first I was like, okay, go ahead, go for it. But then when I saw I wasn't getting out of the partnership I wanted to get out of, I went back to the I Ching and I was like, should I cut this partnership? It said, well, you're not going to get what you want out of it. So if you want to cut it, then go cut it. But sometimes you have to have the experience. Like I said, the experience has to be had. It's written. There's no getting out of that experience. But at least this is going to awaken you to how much effort you're going to need to put into a certain thing.
Let's see how it looks. Could you show us a visual representation of what you're talking about?
Absolutely. And what I did as well is I created a little cheat sheet for y'all for free.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that you'll be able to get as well. Let me pull up a little cheat sheet for y'all, a representation of the hexagrams, and I'll share that with you. And I'll explain the hexagrams. I'll share my screen. Okay. All right. You said I could share my screen, right?
Yeah, it didn't come up yet.
What didn't come up?
When you share your screen, I should see something at the bottom here.
Oh, okay. I see it.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's just something I pulled up here. Okay. And hold on.
Is there any way you could stretch that out, make it bigger?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
All right. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We're tapping into the divination system known as I Ching.
Is that a little bit bigger?
Let's see. No, I think that might be even smaller.
Okay, let's see if I can find a bigger one.
All right.
I'm going to share the app in a minute, but that's when I do the readings. But I just wanted to show you the hexagrams themselves. Let me see if I can find a bigger one for you. Let's see if this is bigger. They're still little. Like everywhere I find them, finding them a little.
Yeah.
But I'll go into them. And a lot of people are familiar with them. Like I said, I think I told you this before. A lot of people have seen them and come across them. I mentioned to you how Dead Press, they have one of these I Chings in one of their logos I saw. And then he also, are you seeing my screen still? I don't see. I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So he has one of them in the logos, and they were talking, a lot of conscious people, in conscious music and stuff like that, they'll mention the I Ching. So it's something that's been around for a long time. But these are the hexagrams. And one of the things I'll draw your attention to is that when you see all of them, and it's a little bit kind of hard to see them small here, but they do come in pairs, meaning like you'll have one and then you'll have the opposite. So like if you look at number 1, this is hexagram 1, and you look at hexagram 2, you'll notice that there's a split here, but in hexagram 1, there is no split, right? So hexagram 1 is like literally the first. That is like creation. Think of creation, the first, right? And then hexagram 2 is called receptive. And these are the first 2 male, quote unquote, male and female hexagrams, right? So hexagram 1 would be considered to be the male, and hexagram 2 would be considered to be the female, right? So also you have open and close, right? And some of you do cowrie shell readings, right? And when you have a cowrie shell, you have one side that's open and the other side that's closed. And that's the same type of binary code that this is using. It's the same thing. It's just that you're using something else. You're using a cowrie shell versus, these lines, right? So like I said, you have 64 a number, and I have a cheat sheet here as well. And essentially there are different ways of doing the actual divination. Some people use coins. Some people use what's called a yarrow, like these little long pipes. Some people just use the software, because guess what? All of this software, including the internet and the software that we're using, is built on binary code anyway. I've had people come to me and say, well, you can't do a reading on an app yes, you can, because this is still binary code. There actually wouldn't be computers if it weren't for binary. The very base language of a computer is binary. It's built inside of this computer. They wouldn't have AI. They wouldn't have anything if it were not for these binary codes that our ancestors used, right?
Mm-hmm.
So essentially people think that when you're pulling, you're doing something random, right? They always say it's a random, even when you're shuffling cards and you're pulling a random. It is not random, people. It is magnetic. Everything, we live in a numbers universe. Everything is timed to a number. It's occurring at a time. And that specific time, whether it's even a millisecond, it doesn't matter. It has a number and it has a time. And it's that number and that time that has the formula for what is being born at that moment. So even if it's your question that's being born at that moment, it has a birthday and your question is being born, and so is the answer at the same time, right? So I'm going to share my app. I'm going to share the app. I'm going to open it up.
Okay.
And stop that. Present here. Actual. So I built an app called the I Ching AI. And the reason that, and again, people had issues with that because they was like, oh, well, how could you have an AI doing a reading for you? It's not the AI that's doing the reading. It's the AI that's interpreting the text for you, right? So like I said, each one of these hexagrams, they have a name, and they have a very raw essential meaning, right? So you have all different types. Like if you go on my app, I even have them all here. You have the creative, the receptive, you have difficulty at the beginning, youthful folly. These are all stories that explain some type of humanity, some type of human force. So like the hexagram 1 is the creative, or some people might call it the dragon, right? And this is representing yang energies. So that's why I said that this is the male hexagram. This represents yang. This represents the Big Bang, of creation, etc. Right? So when you pull this, if you were to pull this hexagram all by itself, it would be talking about you're embarking on some type of new journey, like a fresh start, like a new job or a new project or whatever. That's something that you want to see, right? But the I Ching also has what's called lines, change in lines. So sometimes you might pull a full hexagram and no change in lines. So that means definitively, this is definitively what it is. There's nothing in between. But if you pull a hexagram and it connects to another hexagram, there's what's called the change in lines. And I'm going to open that back up and kind of show you what that is about, what that means. That's something that a lot of people don't understand, how you get changing lines and what that means. So I'm going to go into that. So as you can see, like I said, if you put one hexagram next to the other, you'll see like a difference. They're all different, right? And you have, this one is not in order. I don't want to use this one because that one's going to confuse you, not being in order. So let's use one that's in order. That's a little bit easier, like this one. Actually, this one. Open link in the new tab. So we'll open this and mind you, I've been doing the I Ching for a very long time, but you know, this is like one of those levels kind of thing. You know what I mean? You may be doing it and you may know and you may discover a level and like, wow, I didn't even know that that's what that meant and that's what that does, etc. So when you get into the I Ching, and also this, when you use the software, this is not something that you got to know, but this is the behind the scenes on this type of thing. And then when you get into this, you're going to see, if you ever get into the Odus and Ifa, then you'll find the similarities between the two. So that's why it's good to study divination systems, because you're going to find that they're all related. They're all based on the same concepts. They're all based on mathematics, right? So when you find that out, you learn one, you learn them all, you know, pretty much. They're very easy to get. But if you look at these hexagrams and you see the differences between them, when you pull two, if two hexagrams were to fall, then there would be a difference between them. And that's called a change in lines, right? So like if you had hexagram 1 and it went into hexagram 11, you have hexagram 1 has all solid lines, right? And hexagram 11 has 3 broken lines and 3 solid lines at the bottom. So the difference between the broken and the solid lines is what creates these lines. And these are like really challenges, right? So it's like everything is not easy. Everything is not easy, but it's doable. And you have to approach the I Ching like that. A lot of people don't approach divination as like they have power from an empowered point. Like, I'm going to get a reading and I want to find out, should I or should I not do this? Really, it's up to you what you want to do. The reader is going to tell you how difficult it is for you to do it. You know what I mean? That's what a diviner is there to do. A diviner is really there to tell you or to advise you on what you need to do this. The kings and the queens, etc., used to go to diviners, right? And they didn't go to diviners to say, I can't do this. They go to diviners to say, I want to do this. How hard is it going to be for me to do? What strategy do I need to accomplish this? That's why even in the art of war and all of these other things, these types of people, they use the I Ching as a part of their strategy, right? So this is to tell you. So it's not to tell you don't do a thing. It is to tell you that be cognizant of the fact that if you embark on this road, there are going to be challenges. And us in our mindset today, we're much softer to challenges than our ancestors were, because our ancestors didn't have social media, didn't have this and didn't have that, right? All they had was action. We have to act on something. Now, because we have less action and more talk and more thought and more this and more that, we are much weaker to forces into making decisions and decisive decisions for ourselves. We're much weaker to that. We're indecisive. That's why we have more stress. That's why we have more anxiety. That's why we have more frustration. Most of that, it boils down to the fact that we are indecisive, right? And we won't take a stand one way or the other. And that's what our ancestors were referred to as weakness. You know what I mean? So when people come to me, I try to convert them to strength. You know what I mean? I'm like, the first thing they might think is weird because they be like, well, can I do this? I'm not going to tell you, can you do this? You can't do this. I'm going to tell you, what do you want to do? You know what I mean? Do you want to do this or that? I'm going to push it back on you because that's what's causing you turmoil, is the fact that you are not solid or in alignment with what you want to do. So
yeah, very, very interesting. Very interesting. I'm ready to get started. Let me ask this thing a question. Let me start with me, Aquarius.
okay.
I gotta see what this is about. Then I'm gonna take some questions from the people. But yeah, we're very excited
I'm
about.
gonna share
Yeah,
that. Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Let's see how this works. What's
Okay.
the
So
what's the website they could go to download this web app, Aquarius?
okay, it is. They can click on it. Either
Oh,
they can go.
you
Yeah,
sent
I
it to
put
me,
the
right?
snip.
Oh,
Yeah, that has
okay.
a bunch of links there. But to get it specifically, they can go here. Bit.ly
Let me see.
dot
Let me share what you gave.
AI. So they can go here. That's the shorter link to get it. Oh wow, it didn't go through. This comment failed to post.
Yeah, that you nobody could post links but me because it's my page, so YouTube doesn't want make sure. Yeah.
Okay. But if they go to Snip Feed, they can click on I Ching AI and they can get it there. And then on my Snip Feed as well, that link you sent is also a free cheat sheet, an I Ching cheat sheet that has the hexagrams and the meanings. So they can click on that and they can get that for free.
All right. So I could just ask any question, right? All right. So let me ask a question.
Yeah, let me get back to my screen. I got so many screens open. Okay, I'm back. Okay. What do you want to ask?
All right. Should I get a dog as a pet?
Okay. Should you get a dog as a pet?
Yeah.
So we'll say brother Rich wants to, and now mind you, because this is AI, you can be more specific. You can ask a long question. Okay. Brother
All right.
Rich wants to know
Should I get a dog as a pet because my son wants a dog? Is that more?
Okay, a dog as a pet because his son wants a dog. Okay. So we're gonna choose, you could choose a reading type. I'm gonna say family, right? And I'm gonna click on get response.
Okay. All right.
So
This is gonna be interesting, y'all.
so
What's Brother Rich Patreon? The Patreon is Black Magic 363. The same way my channel is spelled. Just type in patreon.com/Black Magic 363. All right.
Okay. So it comes back with the hexagram. So the first thing it does is pull the hexagram. So it pulls 59 into 52 with changing lines. Like I said, anytime there's changing lines, there's some challenge. There's some reservation blocks, challenges. All right.
Okay.
So it says the I Ching has provided a response to Brother Rich's question about getting a dog. The initial hexagram is 59, which is dispersion. The change in lines are 2, 3, 4, and 5, and the result is 52, keeping still. So I can already tell you off the top of my head that it's probably telling you to wait a little bit, but we'll get into that. The dispersion hexagram suggests that there may be a current state of confusion or fragmentation within the family dynamic. Brother Rich may feel unsure about whether getting a dog is the right decision or if it will further scatter the family's attention and resources. The change in line 2 indicates the importance of clear communication. See, there's always a bigger lesson in everything. Remember, in every situation where we have to stop and discuss it, there's a bigger lesson, right? So the change in line number 2 indicates the importance of clear communication within the family. If Brother Rich decides to get a dog, it's crucial to ensure that everyone understands the responsibilities and commitments involved in taking care of a pet. Change in line 3 advises Brother Rich to consider the overall harmony within the family. The decision to get a dog should be based on whether it will contribute positively to the family's well-being and happiness. If it seems like adding a dog will cause more strain or conflicts, it may be best to reconsider. Change in line 5 emphasizes the need for patience and moderation. Brother Rich should be cautious not to rush into a decision. That's what I was just saying regarding getting a dog. It is important to weigh all factors and consider the long-term implications of bringing a pet into the family. The resulting hexagram, keeping still, suggests maintaining a calm and stable environment within the family should be prioritized. Whether Brother Rich decides to get a dog or not, it's crucial to focus on creating an atmosphere of peace and tranquility. So me knowing the I Ching, this for me is saying that there are other things to look at first and get out of the way before getting a dog. You know what I mean? So a dog is going to be a big responsibility, a big priority. You're also looking at it like it's almost like another child. You know what I mean? And it's going to need a lot of attention, right? So this is saying that, you know, you probably want to wait a little bit, right? You want to really talk it over with everybody and make sure everybody has an input into it, not just one person. One person cannot be like, I want a dog, because it's evident that one person is not going to be the one taking care of the dog solely. That person is not going to be responsible for the dog. You know what I mean? It's going to be a whole entire family thing. So this is cautioning you. This is giving you the blueprint of what you need to do to come up with the decision, but it's also giving you caution and telling you that what you think about it is valid. That it may take more attention and more money and resources. So it's validating that because you feel that, right? Is that what you feel?
No, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
That's
Definitely.
what the King says you feel. That's what I'm saying. The King is saying that this is what you feel, and this is what needs to happen. So the beautiful thing about this is there's oftentimes people who come to me, they're always like, I don't have anybody. I don't have anybody to talk to. I don't have anybody to give me advice to make a decision. Well, everybody I put onto the I Ching and the I Ching app, they have somebody to give them advice. They can go to the I Ching and it will give them sound advice, just as though if they went to somebody that they feel they may have.
Yeah, this might become too addictive though, Aquarius. I can see
it is very addictive. I have a lot of people who use it.
Listen.
I have a lot of people who use it.
This I could see this being addictive to a lot of people. Oh man.
And I'm actually adding, like, I'm constantly updating this. I'm about to add some more features and all that other stuff because I use this. I ask at least 4 to 5 questions a day.
God damn.
I know some people who ask 10 to 15. But I ask at least 4 or 5 questions a day. Like, it's going to give you earlier today, like I said, I asked, should I continue with something that I started a while ago? And it said, you're almost to the finish line. So don't give up. So it'll tell you.
Okay, yeah, good. What you said?
And someone is saying this is too much for AI to know. It's not AI that is knowing this. It's the hexagram that is pulled has already a story attached to it. All the AI is doing is translating the story. The AI is not doing the reading. So understand that. It's not the AI doing the reading. It's the AI doing the translation of the readings that already exist for the I Ching.
All right, let's get to let me see. I don't have any super chat questions. I don't see questions in the chat from where I'm at right now. Somebody said
there's a question. She says, I recently retired, Oracle Eyes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna copy this question because it's a long question.
And let me read it. Let me read it while you copy it. I recently retired, early 50. Should I focus on getting another job to sub income, or should I focus on writing and publishing my books or being an artist for my current future income?
Okay. To supplement her income, or should she focus on writing or publishing books or being an artist For a current end. Okay, so we're gonna say career, right? And let's see. I'm gonna say at 50. I'm gonna change that to see with AI, you just want to be specific so you can get a good answer. It's all about the question.
Okay.
Retire. I recently retired early at 50. Okay, so now let's do this. It's usually pretty quick.
Let me move this.
All right. So she got 3 into 22 with changing lines. So remember I said changing lines, there's stuff, right? So she and number 3 is called difficulty at the beginning, right? So let me explain number 3. Number 3 is like a new beginning, but then there's challenges. Now she is having a new beginning because she just retired. So now she's talking about starting over and it's saying that this is difficult. Like there's something big that she's getting ready to give birth to. That's what hexagram 3 is. It's like something, the symbol, one of the symbols for hexagram 3 is like a plant growing through the concrete, coming through the ground, right? So it's growing, but it has to grow through the concrete. So there's stuff there, right? But it's still a new beginning. So line 3, so the changing lines are highlighting what the difficulties are, right? Line 3 advises you to persist in your endeavors, but it also urges you to seek cooperation with others. This means that while focusing on writing and publishing and being an artist can be fulfilling, it is beneficial to also consider collaborating with others and seeking support to overcome the difficulties you may encounter. So as hexagram 3, she may be trying to take on too much herself. You know what I mean? That's what this is saying. Like you got great ideas, but whatever she got that's going to bring her success is going to involve other people. So that's going to lessen the difficulty once she starts getting out around other people. So line 5 says it cautions against impulsive decisions and urges you to approach your career choices wisely. Because now this is like, okay, you're getting older, right? Now you want to be more authentic. It suggests finding balance between pursuing your artistic passions and generating income through other means, though other means may be more practical and beneficial for the long run. Because her big challenge is she's moving away from a career to doing her own thing. So now she's also going to be relying on money, but then she should be focused on her passion and what she's wanting to do. Right? So this is like all of what's coming up right now. This is like a real Saturn hexagram. These are like a Saturn situation. And it makes sense because she's in retirement in her Saturn years, right? So line 6 says, emphasizes the importance of adaptability and flexibility. It suggests that your career path may involve some unexpected changes or detours. It encourages you to embrace these changes and adapt accordingly, which may lead to new opportunities and further growth. The resultant is grace, hexagram 22, which signifies beauty, harmony, and success. This implies by persevering through difficulties and adapting to changes, you have the potential to achieve success in your new careers. It suggests that focusing both on writing and publishing and being an artist while also being open to supplemental income can lead to a rewarding and prosperous future. So it's telling you to do everything. You know what I mean? But it's also telling you to be flexible. And when it tells you to be flexible, it's telling you don't beat yourself up if you run into obstacles and you fail at a thing, because you're going to likely have little minor failures, right? So, but it's telling you don't beat yourself up. It's telling you that just stay balanced, touch on each one of them, because it's not like when you're a child and you're going into college and you be like, I want to be a doctor. No, now you're going in your Saturn years and you get to do what you want to do. You get to do what you passionately feel drawn to, and even if it's multiple things.
All right. Let's get to another question. We only doing a couple of these. I ain't gonna be on here all night, family. We gonna do a couple of these. A lot of people signed up already to this right here. Yeah, a lot of people. I see them in the chat. Somebody let me get to this. Somebody's asking, can you describe how this app uses I Ching algorithm to our questions? He doesn't
Yeah.
know where to start generate its route and end destination.
Okay, I wrote the algorithm. So essentially, the algorithm that I wrote is an algorithm that generates a random hexagram, right? That's what we talked. We talked about random hexagram. It generates 2 random hexagrams, right? And then it puts those, it calculates the changes between those 2 random hexagrams to bring you the lines. So that's what it does. Like I wrote that algorithm into the software. So it's
Okay.
not something that AI did, it's something that I wrote.
All right.
So in the back end of this, the I Ching and the AI and the software is seeing all zeros and ones, right?
Mhm.
So you might have for a hexagram might be represented as 0. Remember, it's base 6, so it's 6 digits, right? So it may be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, right? And then another one might be 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 6 times, right? So that's all changing lines because they're both different. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now it's giving you 2 hexagrams and all changing lines because it's calculating what the difference between those hexagrams are.
Okay. All right. Got it. Got it. Let's get to. I want to ask this question right here. This is from a brother named Terry. He wants to know: should my wife and I start our YouTube channel concerning home births and holistic ways? 13 kids. Terry, you got 13 kids? That's what you mean? You got 13 kids with your wife, Terry? If you do, that's
See,
beautiful.
this is interesting because he's kind of proving my point. You should. That's not even a question you should answer. I think part of the reason why we ask these questions is because we sense that there's going to be challenges associated with it. But the most successful things have challenges associated with it. What's really interesting is like even in the Ifa, some of y'all might go for an Ifa reading, right? And you go before the Ildus, and it may tell you that it's quote unquote any ray. And if it's any ray, that means that it's open. If it's Iku or whatever, it has these blocks, right? And you might feel like, oh, I shouldn't do it because it has blocks. No, it's the things that are most successful have blocks. Understand, the billionaires are made from blocks. The millionaires are made from blocks. Celebrities are made from blocks. So the more challenges and the more blocks something has, the more potential for it to be successful. So I'm going to ask and I'm going to see what the I Ching says about it. But just let you know.
All right. And shout out to Terry. I seen Terry at Kroger's the other day in Georgia in Stone Mountain. Shout out to Terry. Cool, down to earth, good energy, cool brother. So shout out to Terry.
And his wife start. What did you say? Start
Our YouTube channel.
Their YouTube channel. Start their YouTube channel about what?
Home births and holistic ways.
About home births and holistic ways, holistic living. Holistic.
Yes, I guess you could say, yeah.
Living. Okay, so we'll say that's like a career, family. I'm just gonna say general, right? And get a response. Okay, so you got 56 into 23, right? So this is like almost straight up. Like it says the Wanderer, hexagram 56, which by the way, hexagram 56 is like go on an adventure. Try it. It's gonna be an adventure, right? Wow. So that means that you don't even know where the destination is gonna be. So likely y'all might start a YouTube channel on home births and holistic living, and it can morph into something totally different. That's what it's saying. So this hexagram suggests that Terry and his wife embarking on their YouTube channel about home birth and holistic living would be a good decision. It signifies a time of exploration. You're going to learn new things, We're moving forward and taking risks are encouraged. The change in lines 3 and 4 indicate that their channel could bring positive changes and growth to their lives, both personally and professionally. The outcome, 23, splitting apart, suggests that their YouTube channel, that through their YouTube channel, Terry and his wife may encounter some challenges and disagreements. So y'all gonna disagree on some stuff. However, these difficulties can lead to growth and new perspectives if they're handled with open communication and flexibility. Because remember, I said challenges bring success and growth. Overall, it suggests that you do that. So essentially, this is saying, yes, you should, right? Yes, y'all not going to agree on everything. Be prepared for that. Y'all are not going to agree on how things should go, right? But with hexagram 56 being the adventurer, it is telling you to be open-minded. You know what I mean? So if she suggests something, be open-minded, and she should be open-minded to your suggestions. That's what it's saying, that the key to the success would be is to be open-minded and not be attached to an outcome. Don't be attached. That's very Aquarian. Then when we was talking about the Aquarius age, the Aquarius age is not being attached to specifics and outcomes.
Okay. You got it, Terry. All right.
Thank you. Someone congratulated me to legally changing my name. Yes, I was reborn yesterday. My new birthday was yesterday. I am now an Ace of Diamonds. Thank you so much.
Oh, you changed your name officially?
Yes, legally, officially. Yes.
Okay, congrats.
The
Yeah,
judge,
definitely.
the judge signed on it yesterday.
All right. Let's see another question. Let me see. Somebody wants to know, will any questions be used against us? I don't even know what that.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't even know what you mean by that.
That sounds weird. Because someone asked, she asked Queen Peace, asked, should I grow my business or go back to work?
Okay.
So let's ask. So let's see.
Where's that at? Okay, I see it.
Peace.
I see it.
Okay. Queen Peace wants to know, should she grow
And Terry,
business?
if y'all start your YouTube channel, let me know in the chat, and when you start it, and I'll let the family know, Terry.
Her job, I guess, because she says go back to work, return to her job. So we'll say career. So we'll see what that's looking like
here. All right. Let's see this here.
40 into 53. So the initial hexagram 40 represents liberation. So we already know we're talking freedom. Like I want my freedom, right? So the change in lines 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 suggests that there are going to be significant changes and transformations in your career. The resulting hexagram is gradual progress. So that's dealing with commitment. So the I Ching's response to your question indicates that it's time for you to break free from your current situation, which is represented by hexagram 40. This could suggest that continuing with your job may no longer bring you a sense of fulfillment or growth. The change in lines indicate that the path ahead involves several changes and transformations. Line 2 suggests there's a need to be clear and have a need for a clear and confident vision for the future. Line 3 suggests to be patient and wait for the right opportunity. Line 4 implies the importance of recognizing or embracing new directions or ideas. And line 5 indicates the need for adaptability and flexibility. And line 6 suggests the possibility of reaching a new level of success with determination and perseverance. The resulting hexagram 53, gradual progress, indicates that taking steps towards building your own business will be a gradual process. It advises embracing small changes over time rather than expecting immediate results. This suggests that the growth of your own business could lead to long-term success and personal fulfillment. So it's telling you should leave your job, period. And when you got all of these changing lines like this, it's things that are going to happen to, not allow you to be at your job. You might go back to your job and they let you go anyway or whatever. But things are going to happen to set you free. That's what this hexagram is about. It's liberation. So you're being set free, so all it's telling you now is now you got a plan. You know what I mean? You want to figure out what it is that you want, what your vision of your future looks like. You got to do the practical stuff, but this is telling you need to build your business.
Benefits boss wants to know, Aquarius, do the higher numbers represent something versus the lower numbers on the I Ching?
The higher numbers, meaning going up to like the sixes, you're going on think of number 1 to 64 as you're going on a journey. You know what I mean? So 1 is the beginning, 64 is the end. So you're going on a long journey throughout these numbers. So as you get in the beginning, the lower numbers, the 1s, 2s, and 3s, these are the beginnings of things, right? If you get to the middle, that's when you're dealing with the challenge. If you get middle hexagrams, you know that you're dead smack in the middle of it and you're dealing with challenges. When you get to the end, you're close to the end of some major decisions.
All right, let's we're gonna do one or two more questions. Let's get to this one. Would it be better for the family if me and my lady split?
Okay. We always ask relationship questions of the I Ching. All day long. Gary wants to know if it would be better if him and his I don't know if his girlfriend, girlfriend would it be better if him and his girlfriends would it be better
separated? Is it?
It would be better for the family. I left that out. Be better for the family if him and his girlfriend separated. Okay, so now I'm going to do relationship. Okay.
Let's see, Gary.
I was thinking, okay, so you got 39 into 47. So 39 is obstruction and 47 is oppression. Wow. So there's a lot of energy going on in this situation.
Wow.
The I Ching response to your question to whether it would be better for the family if you and your girlfriend separated indicates that there are currently obstacles and difficulties in your relationship. Hexagram 39 suggests there may be misunderstandings or conflicting interests that are causing obstruction between the two of you. It advises caution and patient perseverance in navigating these challenges. The change in lines show the specific areas that need attention. Line 2 signifies the need for clear communication and expressing your true feelings. Line 3 indicates that compromise and cooperation are crucial for resolving issues. Line 4 advises that you address any hidden resentments and repressed emotions in order to restore harmony. The resulting hexagram 47, oppression, suggests that if the obstacles and difficulties persist and are not addressed, they may lead to a sense of oppressive stagnation in the relationship. It indicates the importance of actively working together to overcome these hardships and find a path towards resolution. In summary, its response highlights the presence of obstacles and challenges, emphasizes the need for communication, compromise, and addresses underlying emotions. It advises patience, perseverance, collaborative efforts to overcome the difficulties and achieve harmony within the family. So, like I said before, everything is always possible. This is telling you what's needed to restore balance in the relationship, right? But this is also saying it starts with a heavy hexagram and ends with a heavy hexagram, that this is a difficult problem that's not likely to go away anytime soon. You understand? Wow. So if you're not up to addressing the misunderstandings, then you know, and this is not going to tell you to leave. Sometimes it will, I could force it. sometimes that I go back and ask questions. You can re-ask it and it'll force you if you say yes or no, and it'll say yes and stuff like that. But this is giving you the bottom line of saying, yes, this is a very difficult situation, and the root of it is misunderstanding and conflicting interests. There's two people going in separate directions. Like this is this. I think the best symbol for this would be like two heads facing opposites direction. You know what I mean? Whereas y'all in a relationship and y'all supposed to be like this. Y'all like this. Not seeing each other.
Let's we're gonna get to one last question from Ascendant Infinite Goddess. Shout out to Ascendant Infinite Goddess. She wants to know, what are some things I can do to grow? Ascendant Infinite Goddess. That's her. She does readings, so I'm assuming that's her service.
That's a great question. I love questions that ask for advice on how to go about something, right? Because that it's really, really good with that, right? So she wants to know, okay, what's her name again? Ascending. Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'm just gonna say because sometimes when you use names like that, it doesn't know you're talking about people.
Yeah, it'll throw it off. What if you just write goddess? What if you just write goddess?
Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna say my client, because I know it's gonna be like, my client wants to know what are some ways she can grow her business. She can grow her business. She does readings.
Yeah.
Her business.
And assist more people.
She does personal consultations, readings, etc.
Oh, she said her name.
And reach more people.
Yeah, and assist more people.
And assist more people. Assist.
She said her name is Chanel. Would it help if you write her name? She said her name is Chanel.
Yeah, that helps me. I just said, okay.
SHA.
Oh, SHA.
NNELL.
NNELL. Wants to know. Okay. And assist more people. So I'm feeling like she's saying reach more people, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Like grow her people, but let's see what it says.
Maybe she means because you can reach more people, but she's looking to be effective. I'm assuming, not just reach more people.
Yeah. Okay. So you got hexagram 54 into 55. 55 is definitely an abundance growth hexagram. 54 is something altogether different. So we'll go into that. So the initial hexagram 54, Marian, it's called Marian Maiden. This suggests that in order to grow your business and assist more people, you must approach it with a fresh and open mindset, as if you're in a new relationship. The change in lines 2 and 3 indicate that there are specific actions you need to achieve to take this growth, to achieve growth. Line 2 advises you to be more adaptable and open to change. It's suggesting that you explore new methods and strategies and to expand your business opportunities. Line 3 advises you to seek guidance and support from trusted mentors and individuals. This can help you gain new perspectives and insights that will aid your business expansion. The resultant hexagram 55 is abundance. It signifies a state of prosperity and success. This hexagram indicates by implementing the advice of being adaptable, seeking guidance, you will increase your business and have the ability to assist more people. So what I'm seeing, what this is saying is hexagram 54, anytime you see one of these Marian hexagrams, you're talking about relationships, like building relationships. You're talking about partnerships too, right? So you're talking about building relationships and building partnerships. So maybe you may have been, maybe you've been closed off to partnering with people or getting involved with people or whatever. And then also hexagram 54 deals with your sense of self-worth, how you feel about yourself, right? So to me, this tells me that you need to be going for the gusto, or you may have to take a a lower stance, if you know what I mean. So like this is like getting a mentor or someone who is doing better than you. You know what I mean? So they already have achieved a certain level of success, and you're kind of coming in to pick up on what they're doing and learn from them. So this could be like going to like business webinars or whatever and looking at these gurus or whatever to implement some of the things that they're doing in their business. You know what I mean? And I know it could also mean marketing, because this woman in the hexagram 54, she feels like playing. You know what I mean? So the opposite of that would be to market and to put myself out there, kind of like getting a PR. You might need to get some PR and all of that stuff like that. And if you put yourself out there, this is saying that if you adopt these methods, you're surely going to have more abundance and growth in your business.
Dope. All right, Ascend the Infinite Goddess. I hope that helped. Yeah, sign up for the. Let me share this. Because yeah, that's the last one I'm gonna take tonight, y'all. Let me post this link again in the chat. Make sure y'all go ahead and sign up. It's free, and
well,
yeah.
the free. This is the I Ching AI is $7.99 a month, $7.99. But
Okay.
I have a cheat sheet that's free for just looking over the different things. Because you got to understand, I actually have an AI back here that I have to pay big buku money for. So it's $7.99 a month. And people ask a lot of questions, because there are a lot of people who are like straight addicted to this app. Like seriously.
Well,
like this app is doing more activity than my Cardology app. Like way more.
I could see that. Yeah. I immediately knew this was going to be addictive for a lot of people. Oh man. All right. So Aquarius, before we get out of here, once again, tell the people all your contact information, anything you got coming up so that people get in contact with you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have I'm doing 2024 mini readings. I'm booking for that. That's also at that snip feed link. So you probably want to get your 2024 in quickly. I have a retreat coming up, a birthday retreat coming up in the mountains of Georgia. That's all booked up, but I do have virtual spots left. We will be doing cardology. We'll be doing all different types of modalities on that. That's going to be like really, really awesome. I also have, and then I have the app. You want to get the app, and the Circle of Friends, which I have every year. So if you sign up for the Circle of Friends, then you get to attend all of my webinars for the year for free within that membership. So that's also at the snip feed link. And I do have a code for the 2024 readings. I believe the code, if you put in 2024 special, then you're going to save $50 off a 2024 reading. So use that code. If that code doesn't work for you, inbox me on Instagram and I'll give you another one.
Excellent. Hey, I see y'all enjoyed it. I want to thank everybody who asked questions tonight. Hope y'all was able to get help. Some great answers from I know I got some help tonight about the dog situation, and it confirmed something I already knew deep inside. So I appreciate your app, Aquarius. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Brother Rich and Aquarius Maximus, we signing out. Have a good night, family. Peace.